Hello, my name is Naya. I am going to be doing a no CP build for the Magicka Nightblade, which is kind of hard to do for anything Magicka because no CP is very, very punishing for pretty much anyone who plays Magicka. It's mostly a stamina meta due to, being able to break free, rolling, etc., etc. I have had times where my stamina regen is a little bit higher than my Magicka regen because I'm relying on a set for sustain rather than the regen stat, and I still get CC'd into oblivion. So, as a Magicka build, I want to be able to sometimes get a kill, so I do have kill potential, but I'm mostly oriented towards enabling my team to win. So, I can kill people. You are not going to not be able to kill people with this build. But I also focus on surviving myself a little, as well as keeping my team alive as well. Now, in no CP environments, Impreg and Transmutation are very good sets to have. So is Wizard's Riposte, but there's always someone wearing Wizard's Riposte. It's not hard to find someone wearing Wizard's Riposte, so I don't mind wearing Transmutation, since not as many people wear that. So, in this case, I am wearing Transmutation, Alteration Mastery, and Bloodspawn. Bloodspawn is just a good monster set overall. It gives me some stam regen, so that I'm not getting CC'd into oblivion, as well as some mitigation and ultimate generation. Ultimate generation can be used offensively or defensively. You could use it for Resto ult to keep your team alive, or you could use it on Soul Harvest to finish someone off. I also have Magicka Drain, Ellie Drain on my front bar, because I want to be able to assist my team. Even like when I've played with Gilliam, I try and keep targets Ellie drained so that he can go into cloak more often, because Ellie Drain still works for people. So, or for people who aren't always doing magic damage. It's just a skill. So more people able to use Magicka is better. I just wish there was kind of a similar thing for stamina, so that Magicka classes would have access to not getting CC'd into oblivion all the damn time. So first off, we're going to look at our front bar. I've already mentioned Ellie Drain. We have to have some kind of Destro staff skill on our bar because Ancient Knowledge is a stupid passive that requires us to have a skill slotted unlike every other weapon in the game. Boo. Now, I have Soul Harvest here. You could put something else here if you really want. Incap is also really good. I just have Soul Harvest because that's what I use. Mass Hysteria is your main form of CC. It's a very good CC. It's a nice little unfuck me button. Shade for your superior kiting. Very useful in BGs, especially since you're oftentimes put in a bad situation, and if you need to get out, you can shade out. Funnel Health. This skill got fucked up the butt this patch for no good reason. It had a reason. It was a bad reason. It didn't do anything for my build because I have spec'd into cost reduction across the board rather than just relying on this skill to have a low cost. So the sustainability of this build is also pretty good. Merciless Resolve for bread and butter burst as a Nightblade. We do need to use Funnel. We can't use Swallow Soul because we have Transmutation on. Honestly, I would be using Crushing Shock, like if I actually wanted to do damage or be viable in an open world situation, which is why I use that on my general open world, like Vivek Shore PvP build. But because Funnel not only provides a little bit of healing, which is helpful, but procs on other people, which will in turn proc Transmutation, being offensive is also being defensive for my team. So that's kind of a nice thing, and that's honestly the only quirk of Funnel for me right now. Used to be my favorite RP skill, and now it's just kind of meh. And of course we need a Magicka, or to get Magicka Flood, we need to have a siphoning ability on our front bar. Moving on to our back bar, we've got Shadowy Disguise, it's Cloak. Refreshing Path, this will proc Transmutation on allies as well as damage opponents and heal allies. Overall, it's just a good skill. Typically, rapid regen or even mutagen do more healing, but it doesn't also do damage as well as grant you major expedition. Healing ward. This is our defensive spammable slash burst heal. It's not a very good burst heal, just saying. This is what we do when we are being pressured. With the tankiness that transmutation offers us, we won't need to be crutching on this quite as much as we normally do. This is your flex spot. You don't have to have cripple here. I like cripple, especially since flag games are a thing. It helps me control people. I don't quite use it as a I'm going to kill you threat. It's more of a control thing, and a little extra pressure is nice. And then we have siphoning attacks for some extra sustain and healing done. Resto ult because it's a very powerful ultimate. You could put Soul Tether there, AoE stun, damage, healing, all that good shit, but frankly the cost is kind of a downer a downer on that skill. I have had my ward harness because fucking harness needs to be nerfed. I've had wards here when I'm doing like capture the relic. I use prisoners and harness, which is a lot of sustain and damage mitigation. That is that's pretty much it for skills. Yeah, so for gear I've already mentioned I'm using transmutation and alteration mastery. Alteration mastery is, in my opinion, the best sustain set in the game because of how it works. It's a very versatile set. Of course, if you want numbers, like if you just want Magicka sustain, then Lich is probably your best bet for a sustain set, but the versatility of Alteration Mastery is just almost too good for me to not use. And then we have the Stamp Sustain from Bloodspawn, which is overall just helping me not die. Now, another thing that you should remember when you go into a non-CP environment is that any CP you have into crit resist is going to get taken away. This is part of what makes transmutation so valuable to a team. It's basically free damage mitigation for your team. Not for you though. You actually pay the price. It's a 5-piece. You can still make kills with this, especially if you make sure that your weapons, or not your weapons, your jewelry are enchanted with spell damage glyphs. If they are enchanted with spell damage glyphs, you can still make kills. Congratulations. Use Witch Mother's Potent Brew. I still use PvE spell power pots because I'm silly like that. But yeah, you now have pretty much all the knowledge you need to put this build together, since CP doesn't really matter whatsoever. As for races, you want to be a Breton or an Argonian. Argonians have good sustain, good max health, okay max magicka, and the healing done passive is nice. I like Breton because it has passive spell resist, which is always cool, and cost reduction, which is part of the reason I've switched to Breton this patch. And just, 10% max magicka. You can get that from playing a high elf though. Overall, that would be it. Thank you for watching this video, and hopefully this works out well for you, or honestly anyone who tries it. Have a good day, everyone.